Hello friends, Wake Angel 2001 here with a quick little video. My last upload, the 3D printed mecha thing, had a comment from one of my watchers, Logan, on wanting to know what my opinions were on the new Cream and Infinite figures that Jakks Pacific is putting out. So, here we go. I think they look really good. Keep in mind, this side-by-side image is not necessarily to scale. I pulled these images from my own Reddit thread, although I had already known about them before from 4chan's toy thread. And, well, to see them side-by-side like this, I hope this is kind of the scale because Cream is supposed to be shorter, but, like, the two pictures were just different sizes on Reddit, so I had to resize Cream's to match Infinites. So I'm not necessarily sure if this is how tall the figures are going to be next to each other. If it is, though, that would be good. So, as you may recall, I'm particularly invested in these two characters because I had made customs of them before. Here's pictures of all the ones that I made before. Now, my Infinite figures are in the Jazzwares scale, so they're 3 inches tall, while the Cream that I made, she is also 3 inches tall, but that's because she's a short character made for Jakks Pacific scale. So even though she's the same height as Infinite, you can see her body proportions clearly show that she's in a larger scale. Now, oh, I also put a little Chow figure next to the 3D printed cheese so you could get some context on what a Chow looks like. I'm fairly certain that after this Cream comes out, the 2.5-inch figures are going to have a cheese figure, which will basically just be their Chow remolded with a little bow tie to be, you know, Cheese's bow tie. Now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at the individual figures themselves. When you put my custom Cream up against the official one, of course mine is going to have some weirdly fitting proportions. Notably, her legs are a little bit longer, and her facial expression obviously doesn't quite match Cream's normally jovial expression. This is because at the time I used the rabbit avatar from Sonic Forces to make Cream's head in this one. So the proportions are a little bit off. It's not technically Cream's face. Although I was intending to update this figure with an actual 3D print of Cream's face. You'd see me make Cream's face before with the 3D printer. But now that this official one's coming out, I'm probably not going to bother. I'll just leave this as a relic. And clearly my figure's legs are a little bit longer because you know, the proportions are Louise Belcher's from Bob's Burgers, not Cream the Rabbit from Sonic the Hedgehog. Although I will note, if you look at the shoes, my shoes, which are the actual 3D print from her model in the game, versus the actual toys, her sock cuffs on the actual toy are way bulgier. However, I'm pretty sure that this is only to compensate for the ball joint articulation in the ankles. So it's a change to her sculpt to accommodate articulation, which I'm perfectly okay with, especially since it's non-invasive like this. Suffice to say, I do think that the official Cream figure looks better than my custom in some respects, especially the proportions and that adorable little smile that they gave her. So I'm not gonna go off on my high horse saying that I did so much better and that Jakks Pacific is knocking me off, because, you know, they absolutely aren't knocking me off. Like, I'm just really happy they're making a Cream figure, because the only official Cream figure ever made was made way back in the Toy Island days for the Sonic X toy line. So taking a look at the Cream figure again, with her little accessory, it's going to be a double scoop ice cream cone. It has been established in the video game lore that ice cream is Cream's favorite treat. Get it? Ice cream? Although, like, given the fact that they went with a cream cheese pun, you would think that her favorite food would be bagels, but maybe bagels are Vanilla's favorite food. If she named her daughter Cheese, if her daughter's named Cream and her child partner's named Cheese. I don't know. I'm not going to read too deep into that. I will, however, say that it's 2 scoops of regular ice cream when in Sonic Advance 2, Cream's idle animation had her eating soft serve. Like, you can see from the shape of the cone that that's a piece of soft serve ice cream, not scoop ice cream. I don't know. Like, Sonic Advance 2 is one of the rare games where you could just, like, hit a button and have them do their idle animation without having to stand and wait for them to do it automatically. So, you could actually easily get you actually just do it whenever you wanted. And it was just amusing to make Cream stand there eating an ice cream because it was so cute. But yeah, soft serve. Like, how hard was it to get the shape of the ice cream accurate, right? But I digress. That's not a big flaw. I doubt that anyone's gonna really care about the type of ice cream that she's eating. It's just kind of cool that she gets a customized accessory like an ice cream cone instead of having just something generic like a ring thrown in there. I mean, it would have been pretty cool if they could have actually had cheese thrown in there, but, technically speaking, that is a whole other figure, and even if she is smaller, they probably couldn't budget in that much into it. Like, technically, the plastic mass would add up. I mean, this little cream figure plus a cheese chow figure probably has less mass altogether than Vector or E123 Omega had, but the actual molding that has to go into it, like, cheese has a parts count. There's 4 individual pieces that go into making a chow figure, like 2 arms, the torso, and the head. And, that's like more steel molding. Like, it's more expensive to produce than, like, in terms of parts count is what I'm trying to get at. That said, I think people really want me to talk about the Infinite figure because I have always been so vocal about Infinite in the past. Like I said, that my drive to create the perfect Infinite figure has always been one of spite. But yeah, let's get a side-by-side first. You're checking out the 2 Infinites together, and even though I used the Mega Construx figure, the proportions don't seem as far off as it did with the Cream figure. Probably because it's Jazzware scale and there's more of a fudge factor in there. Although, I have made Infinite in the past using Jakks Pacific figures. I used a Shadow, but I don't have those figures on hand. I just grabbed the one I had on my desk and took a picture of it. I suppose I could. You know what? Here's a quick picture of one of the Jakks Pacific scale ones I made. In fact, here's both of them, because I did make them in both mass and unmasked form. And I will always be able to lord the unmasked Infinite figures, because, I can guarantee you that they're never going to make an unmasked Infinite figure for the toy line, because Unmasked Infinite didn't appear in the video game. Or he did appear in the video game in the episode Shadow cutscene, but not with a clear look at his face. So, they really want to downplay the Unmasked Infinite, and they're not going to make a toy of him. I will eat those words if they actually do make an Unmasked Infinite in the future, but I can pretty much guarantee they're not going to bother. So, yeah, my Infinite figure my Jazzware scaled Infinite figure is always going to have elbows that I can lord over it. But yeah, that's pretty much the big thing. Okay, so let's take a look at that official Jakks Pacific Infinite figure. He comes with a Phantom Ruby prototype accessory. It looks a little bit big, but still, it's the Phantom Ruby officially represented. That's awesome. And it's not quite as oversized as the Chaos Emeralds have been, so I'll accept that. But to look at the figure itself, it is leagues above that Tomy figure. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Tomy based their Infinite figure off of concept art rather than his actual in-game model, which is why the proportions of that thing are so off, and they couldn't even paint the rings inside of his ears correctly. The Phantom Ruby isn't even the right shape on the Tomy figure. I never liked the Tomy figure. But this Jakks Pacific figure has the benefit of Sonic Forces came out 5 years ago almost, and they would have had plenty of time to work with his 3D model and adapt it. I will say his feet look a little bit weird here. It's like he's standing on the inside edges of his shoes instead of flat-footed, but that could just be the prototype. The feet look a little small. I'm not sure because I'm looking at it straight on, so that could just be a foreshortening illusion. But I hope they didn't make the same mistake that Tomy did, where they measured from toe to heel and made that the same length as Sonic's foot, when it actually makes it look way smaller because the shape of Infinite's shoes with the upturned toe, like elf shoes, means that Infinite's actual foot isn't in the upturned part of it. So, that was a major effect on the proportions of the Tomy figure. Hopefully Jazzwares isn't Jakks Pacific isn't falling in that same mistake. Because I did make sure when I made my Jakks Pacific scaled customs that the foot was bigger. So for the guys that I made the custom infinites for, if you guys get the official infinite figure, I would ask you to please take a picture of the official Jakks infinite with the customs that I made for you, and like side by side, and send me those pictures. I'll make a follow-up video. The same thing happened when I made my cheese, it wasn't cheese. My first Charmy the Bee custom I made by customizing a classic Sonic, and when Jazzwares made the official Charmy figure, the person I made that custom for took a picture of his custom next to the official one so that the world could see a side-by-side comparison. So I would ask that you guys would do the same. That would be really great for me. And yeah, so I'm super happy that they're making these figures. Like we finally have a complete Team Rose, as we have Big the Cat, Amy Rose, and now Cream is going to join the roster. It's the first time we've had Cream since the Sonic X days, so that's fantastic. And this Infinite figure, like Infinite, say what you will about the character, he always had a really cool design, and for him to get an official toy that looks this good and this accurate to his in-game model is finally doing him justice to that amazing design. So yeah, all great. I love it. It's wonderful. So this is Wake Angel 2001 signing off.